happening, Human May? This is Bobby D. Um, so last night I took the night off from social media and tried to also get my mind off of my actual job as well. And I went out with a couple of friends, and so I'm feeling pretty rough this morning, with some in light of what happened yesterday with the day of rage. I felt it was necessary for me to say something. And so before I begin to talk about that, I do want to uh, tell you guys that Anonymous were the first people to wake me up about 2 years ago. When I say wake me up, I mean they introduced me to the concept that we should question everything, that we should begin to question the people that are in authority, because we shouldn't just allow them to be in that position just because. So, that being said, thank you guys very much, because I'm very happy at and at the fact that I can now look at things uh, way differently than I did before. Stuff that was taught to me in a public school, I've since found out was not true. Stuff that was being fed to me through media, the news, music, etc. It 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 was all in some way or another there to program me, and it is programming you. So if this is your first hear of, of Anonymous or Dabu 7, I began to listen to him shortly after this event that took place. It was July 2 years ago, so it's been about 2 years exactly. July 4th, as a matter of fact, Independence Day. And so what I wanted to get around to was the fact that last night was supposed to be the day of rage. They were supposed to have events um, at like 40 locations around the U.S. and nothing happened. As a matter of fact, I listened to Clyde Lewis's show from last night. He's out of Portland, Oregon. That's another one that shortly after Anonymous woke me up, I began to seek alternative media, and he's an outlet that um, a was readily available due to SoundCloud. You can look up any of his shows on SoundCloud, and he doesn't just talk about parapolitics or parapsychology. He talks about the paranormal, and he thinks about everything as it should be done theoretically. Um, he always talks about challenging your normalcy biases, and he constantly does that. Sometimes it annoys me, but that's good. Let's get you out of your comfort zone. That's what needs to happen. So, anyway, continuing on, he said that there in Portland, where he broadcasts a show from, right down the road from his station, there was supposed to be the event. He had all of his staff come in hours ahead of time because he was expecting a mass chaos, which goes right along in hand with what we're calling the summer of chaos. And nothing happened. He prepped for everything. They brought enough supplies in for them to be hunkered down in the studio until Monday. For 3 days, they had enough food and supplies there for the entire crew for 3 days because they didn't think they were going to be able to get out, and no one else was going to be able to get in. So they prepped for that, and nothing happened. As a matter of fact, it was taken over by people playing PokeGo. If you're not familiar with that game, then try your best to keep it that way. I don't, I don't do video games in general, but something feels bad about this one. The fact that you got people walking around like zombies to random places. Also, to add insult to that injury, companies can pay money to put out a lure for the Pokemon, and people will flock to that position. And the hope is that while they're there, they're going to be purchasing the products that the company is offering, whether it be food and drink or services or whatever. From what I can tell, the inactivity from last night is caused. I don't know if this is evidence. I don't know if this is evidence of the fact that the other movements that have been happening the past couple of weeks were influenced fiscally by George Soros, or if this is a testament to the fact that people who knew about it are truth seekers and found out that it was a phony anyway. I say that it is a phony only on the premise that, coming from good sources, it wasn't known by the leaders of the sect or the people who are more active in the sect. But as it began to be publicized, I was afraid that that information would only reach a few, and that regardless if it was fake or not, the stigma would still exist and people were still going to go. And they didn't. I hope the second of those is possible, because that would be awesome. However, unfortunately, we'll never know whether or not the fact that it wasn't active was due to the fact that it wasn't backed by a fake dollar, fiscally backed by a currency that is falling in credibility every day. So, I'd like to know what you think. Please leave me some comments. Hit the like button. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. That would make me supremely happy. And in the past week, we've got 5 extras, so we're feeling pretty good about it. Anyway, this has been Bobby D, and you're whom it may, and together we are concerned. Y'all have a good day.